Okay, so today we're gonna try doing some sewing. We're gonna do, best way I can put it, a knockoff Wooper plush. Because I'm just gonna do it from memory, because that's more fun that way. So for my pattern paper, I'm just gonna use some freezer paper. If it'll tear, but I have scissors. Scissors, paper. So I'm just gonna use that for my pattern paper. And the reason I'm doing Wooper, I'm gonna turn it a bit more, is because I gotta spread the good word of Whoopstotska. Woopa Troopa, that is a head. He is actually one of the big inspirers for me to start doing videos. That's not a great body, but that's okay. We're doing this from memory. It makes it more fun. He really inspired me to start doing videos and things like that. And yeah, and just because I always kind of had the mentality of like, oh, well, if you're gonna do it, you gotta do it perfect, and because that's how my brain tries to work with a lot of things, which isn't true. Are his Wi-Fi signals like actual Wi-Fi signals or upside down? Just run. Perfect. Can you check for me when you get a chance what the Wi-Fi signals look like? Because I cannot remember. We're gonna need another piece of paper, but what I'm doing is I'm just drawing the general shape, and then I'm gonna cut out the individual shapes, and then put them onto some fleece, and add my seam allowance then. But yeah, I need some more paper. I am the official propaganda minister of propaganda or something. I don't know. For Whoopstotska, so gotta do my job. What I'm doing right now, so this piece wasn't big enough for me to see the whole image. Just a moment. Oh yeah, I did the body way wrong, but that's fine. So it's like an upside down one, okay. So we're gonna redo the body a little bit. This little instead. And then so what I'm doing, since I didn't have enough space on here, I'm putting this one over it, and because of the nice lighting, I can see my original drawing through this paper, so then I can add, like the, I don't know, the antenna thingy dingies. This is kind of a vlog, kind of a tutorial, nothing fancy. But no, I am the propaganda minister or something for Whoopstotska, the glorious nation. Yeah, those don't look quite right. That's okay. We're just doing our best. But yeah, I'll figure it out from here. But yeah, Woopa Troopa really inspired me to start making videos, and just like appreciating the community for what it is. That's a tale, I guess. I'm just going to trace the body so I can get a vague idea of how I want the Wi-Fi signals to look. I know it's not a Wi-Fi signal, but that's what I'm going to call it. So, yeah, Wooper really inspired me to start making videos. And, you know, he's a streamer on YouTube. He also does normal videos, but I really like the streams. He hasn't been able to stream in a while because of internet problems. I think it's a conspiracy, personally, but that's just me. But yeah, I just really enjoy watching it. So, and I've done like a clay Wooper. I've done like some paintings. Yeah, you'd think I know what he looks like by now, but yeah. So I just figured, let's make a plushie and do a video, because you're not gonna find, more likely than not, you're not gonna find a plush of your favorite Pokemon or whatever. Because apparently Mareep isn't the best Pokemon, according to some people. Whatever. So, I don't have. Oh, you're falling a little bit there. Sorry about the wobbling. I don't have my fabric scissors handy, so I'm just using these kitchen scissors for all of it. But yeah, I'm just using Sharpie to draw it. I'm just, you know, we're not getting too fancy here. This isn't official Pokemon merch. Sorry. But no, it's like whether you have, 10 subscribers, which I have 10 subscribers now. Made myself a paper play button. Whether you have 10 or a million or whatever, like, that's not, I don't think that's necessarily the best measurement of success. Just in that, like, you could have a million subscribers, but if you're miserable doing it, is it really worth doing? So, I don't know. I really found that I enjoy, like, the kind of smaller streamer community. I really enjoyed watching Woopa Troopa when he was able to stream, and I'm looking forward to when he can again. I like listening in on Pacific 414 and his Pop Talks. I'm going to label these as I go so I don't forget. So this is tail, I guess. I don't know what these are, so I'm just going to say ears. But, I like Pacific 414. One that I enjoy is N8VOX for ham radio. That's something that I want to get into, and he's got a lot of really informative stuff. Met the guy once or twice. He seems all right. Input latency or input lag. I can't remember which. I think he does different tags for YouTube and Twitch, but he mostly streams on Twitch. He's in the comments on YouTube of like Woopa Troopa's videos and stuff. I really enjoyed watching him when he was doing like Mass Effect. Excited to see what he decides to stream next. But you know, just talking with people, and you know, in these smaller sort of communities, you know, if you comment or if you you know, are talking in the chat, people actually notice you and respond to you, and it's really nice, especially like I was dealing with a lot of like loneliness and stuff because and I deal with depression and anxiety, and then you know some days are easier than others, especially like being a stay-at-home mom. Um, you know, like when it's just you and the kids home all day, that's really mentally taxing. Um, so just for me, that was a big way for me to reach out to people around me, and that helped a lot. Uh, but I don't know. And I mean, I'd really like to stream someday so that I can be involved with my viewers. Uh, but just, again, stay at home mom, I don't know when I'm going to need to pause filming because, you know, a baby wakes up from his nap or daughter needs something or what, you know. So, in the meantime, I'm enjoying doing the videos. Uh, showing the things I make, and yeah, again, this one it's a little bit tutorial-y, but not super. I guess it's a little vlog-ish, just kind of I'm trying something. I don't have a perfect process. I got some buttons for the eyes. I got different kinds of fleece for the body and everything. I got polyfill, and then I'm also going to use some poly beads at like the bottom of the body, I think, and maybe some in the head. I'm not entirely certain on that yet. But never did I, as a squalid mass, know that I could one day be on camera promoting Whoopstotska. But no, we have fun like in the Discord and things like that. I've got my fleece. There goes my pattern pieces. That's fine. So this is going to be the body. Now, if I was a smarter person than I am, I would get my pins. I don't feel like it, though. So the ear thing is going to be in purple. These are going to be a dark blue. Forgot that this was the body, so I'm going to write body. And foot. But yeah, if I was a smart person, I would pin this all in place, or, you know, it's freezer paper, so I could actually iron it on and it would stick, which is a really nice thing about freezer paper. Also, it doesn't tear really easy, like tissue paper or something like. So it makes really good pattern paper. The nice thing about fleece, it's knit, so it's nice and stretchy. It's good for like plushies and things like that. It's got just enough like plush to it that it will hide your stitches pretty good. And like seams and stuff. I mean, not perfectly, but all right. I think a lot of times this is actually what they make like the puppets for like Muppets and things like that in Sesame Street out of, is fleece. But yeah. So again, if I was a smarter person than I am, I would go and get my pins. I don't want to. So what I'm actually going to do, I'm just going to trace around giving myself enough room for seam allowance. Does not need to be perfect because honestly, Wooper is one of those Pokemons that, like, even the wonkiest of Woopers looks kind of perfect. Just a moment. Okay, I thought baby was crying. I don't think he is. So, there's our body. Okay. There's the body. Tail. There's Cupcake. I don't know if you can see her from camera angle. And, you know, it's like I always say sometimes. I always sometimes say this. If you wanted it perfect, you shouldn't have gotten it homemade. A couple of foots. But yeah, I can do these the same actually. But no, I really appreciate everybody that has been watching my videos. Everyone that has been being like, yeah, you got this, you can do it. Because that means so much to me. I can't even describe. I really, really appreciate it. Yeah. I don't know. So real quick for this, we're gonna leave for the head because, you know, I added probably like half an inch or so of seam allowance. So here on the sides of the head, we're gonna make a couple real short marks so that they will be hidden in the seam. But those are gonna be where I'm gonna try to put the ears. I still can't remember what they're called. It's fine. And then also we're gonna add a spot for the body. And these, it's pretty easy for me to see where I gotta leave them alone. Wow, I managed to get a lot of ink on my hand there. So before I move on to the other colors, I'm going to cut these out. And again, I'm just using like some kitchen shears. Is it ideal to use these? No. Does it really matter? No. You know, I might not even be like perfectly in frame, but I'm trying to remember, you know, if I can make videos, anyone can make videos. And maybe I'm inspiring somebody to go, I could do better than that. And they start making videos and they really enjoy it. You know? These actually do better than some of my battery scissors, jeez. But yeah, good enough. So there's our head. And it might seem kind of silly that I'm including you in the whole process, but I don't know. I don't have anything else better to do. But no, I'm kind of like a little bit excited to, like, I know I don't hardly have any, I don't have many people following me or subscribe to me that aren't family. But someday maybe I will. And someday maybe people will be watching this. And it'll help like direct people over to his channel and stuff. Or maybe I'll post this and it'll help kind of lure some people over from his channel. And that's actually something I really like about things like YouTube. Is you really can't steal viewers. Like Like Markiplier and Jacksepticeye do very similar things. Cupcake's here to help. I don't know how well you can see her. Markiplier and Jacksepticeye do very similar things. And they collab, things like that. A lot of their viewers are probably the same people. But just because somebody watches a video on Jack's channel doesn't mean they can't watch a video on Mark's channel. You know, like viewers aren't exclusive to just one person. So that's something that I kind of like. And for me, I really like showing like my creative processes because I know I do some things a little bit different. You know, just how my brain works sometimes. So like if it inspires somebody or I don't know. Yeah, I like that it is one of those things where, you know, I can direct people over to him, he can direct people to me, you know, I can direct people over to input latencies Twitch channel. You know, I mean, obviously they do very different things to me. You know, they're gamers. You know, Pacific 414. He does some gaming and some real quick, we're not gonna leave marks for those because I'm actually gonna try to just kind of stitch it on. And I might do that with the ear thingy dingies as well, but I don't know just yet. Pacific does some gaming, but a lot of like talking about pop culture and things like that. You know, N8VOX does ham radio. You know, Mimic Slayer is another one. It's a kid. He plays. Well, I mean, I think he's going to do a lot of different games. But just right now, he's playing like Terraria. And just seeing him like evolve with how he does it is really interesting to me. But yeah, I just, you know, we can't take each other's viewers. And again, like I was saying, we have very different interests or niches or niches. I think my dad said it's niches. We have very different things that we do videos on, but that's fine because a lot of people have different interests. You know, somebody can be into gaming and crafting. You know, I also got this purple fabric. Not sure what shade of purple I would describe it as exactly. Kind of like a dusty purple. I don't know. It's really pretty though. I'm glad I got more than enough. I'd like to make something else out of it. But yeah, just a lot of people have different interests and it's just cool to see, I guess. I don't know. Thank you for your contributions, Cupcake. But no, I'd like to see about, when I do start, like when I get my ham radio license, I haven't gotten there yet. Got ways to go for sure. When I do, I might see if I can do some collabs with N8VOX, and maybe someday I'll start doing gaming. I don't know. At the very least, like, if any of these people need somebody to game with, because, oh man, it's a 32-player game and we only have 31 players. You know how it is. But, yeah, just, I don't know. My channel, I'm kind of just doing whatever I fancy. Old King of Random style, I guess. Good enough. I'd kind of like to see if there's anything. I know that N8VOX is into like coffee stuff, so maybe make a coffee mug cozy that's ham radio inspired somehow. I don't know. I feel like that'd be kind of neat. Not sure what I would incorporate, so if you guys have any ideas, let me know. I might ask in Pacific's chat, hey, is there any kind of craft that would, you think would kind of encapsulate your channel a little bit, some of what you do? Beautiful. I don't know. I just think it'd be kind of neat. Now these ones, we don't need the 2, because I've been doing all of these. I've been cutting out 2 as I go, so that I can sew them together, then stuff them. These, I only need 1 of each. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my best to kind of hand stitch it on. But still going to give myself a bit of seam allowance. Can always trim it later. But no, I really like the idea of just, again, really just sharing, just community. Just the community aspect, I guess, is what I really like. Just because, especially since the pandemic and everything, am I allowed to say that? I don't know. But especially since all of that, sometimes it's kind of hard to feel like you're a part of something, because, you want to be part of the play groups or whatever around you, but you can't because they got all these different regulations, or they're not even back up after COVID. Or, again, is that something I can say? I don't know. I'm not being monetized, so yeah, I have 1,000 subscribers to monetize. I didn't know that before. I've only got 990 to go. Keep telling my brother, watch out, PewDiePie. Come for your spot at the top. But yeah, I've really been enjoying the process, enjoying just getting inspired by different things. I've got a lot of different videos lined up. I've got pretty much everything done. I just need to film them and type up the patterns, because I try to leave the patterns in the description, just for anybody that does better with reading. Obviously I don't really have a pattern to leave in the description here. Wow. Looks just like them. I mean, I'll tell you what, the similarities are startling. Oh, put that in the right spot. Check it out. It's looking pretty good. So I'm just gonna clean up a little bit while I continue to prattle on. Well, let's kind of figure out where we're gonna put the eyes a little bit. Well, now we'll do that when we're stitching it all together. But no, again, it's been kind of hard to feel like you're part of any kind of community. You know, we moved in the middle of it all. So, you know, we're in a new area and we can't do anything with people because it's not allowed. You know, it is really isolating. So just honestly, this little streamer community I found is just, it's come to mean a lot to me, to be honest. So sorry, Cupcake, you gotta move. So yeah. Yeah. You know what? I'll do that in a bit. I was gonna cut out a something to put like in the feet and the body for some poly beads, poly pellets, I think they're called, but I'll do that in a little bit. So yeah, that is our first part of this. Looks like Wooper already. I'm not doing the hat. Sorry. I'll put a normal person hat on him. I don't know. So now I gotta take it to the sewing machine. Okay, so I know this isn't the most flattering angle, but I'm a little tight on space in general. So we're working with what we got. Right now I'm just threading my sewing machine with this kind of navy blue color, I guess. It's the only blue I have. Well, not the only blue, but the closest blue I've got on hand. So yeah, we're just doing our best. Again, this is not official Pokemon merch. This is purely inspired by Wooper. Waste as much thread as you possibly can getting it in there. So now we crank this, brings that up, and we are set to start sewing. This is just like a normal garment hook, not hook, a normal garment foot, I believe. We're gonna aim for about about 5/8, but we're not gonna get upset if it's not. I'm gonna be using a zigzag stitch because this is a stretchy fabric, and so that will stretch with it much better than not zigzag, a normal straight stitch would. Helps if you're pressed down. As you can see. we'll just sew on the ear things by hand. Now when you're sewing zigzag stitch, it takes longer because it is going back and forth instead of just straight. I mean, if you were jumping back and forth, that would take you longer to get somewhere than if you just jump straight. So sorry about the noise. I'll see if I can turn the volume on that down at least, or mute it or something. But you may have seen me push this. This is reversing, and so when you go back and forth a little bit, that kind of locks, that kind of knots it. It makes it a lot more secure. So let me see. There's a little spot where it messed up, so I'm just gonna go back over that. Just to be safe. I'd rather this didn't fall apart. So we're gonna wait till we get all of them sewn up to turn them inside out, because, you know, I like a little bit of danger in my life. And yeah, we are going to use the same thread for this because I don't feel like finding a different thread right now. Maybe someday this will be one of those videos that I redo because, wow, I did everything wrong. We'll see. Yeah, that's rough. That's okay. Adds character or something. this method, you can make a garbage knockoff of anything. You probably couldn't hear my joke over the sewing machine. I was saying, using this method, you could make a garbage knockoff of anything. Well, I say joke. The reason I have this hand back here, I'm actually lifting and putting the foot down, so I'm actually probably blocking a lot of your view. But I lift the foot so I can turn it, so I can get a bit sharper turns. Again, that's the idea. Looking rough, perfect. I think this was the tail. Just going for it. Double checking, I still have thread on the bobbin. I think I do. Let's see. Okay, yeah, there's still thread on there. Getting low, but we're still good for now. So there's the tail. Now when you're working with fluffy, well, fluffy-ish even yarn fabric, you want to make sure you give your sewing machine a good clean off afterwards, because it's going to get really fuzzy and linty and stuff, and that will affect how it works. Even just using a can of air, you can get those in like the electronics section at like Walmart or whatever. But also like a fluffy makeup brush, you can use that to help clean off your sewing machine. One foot. not crazy about how it did that, so I'm just going to kind of go over that and make it a little more round. Because I was trying to make it real cornery and I didn't like that. Okay, these, yeah, I'm going to sew those on by hand. You can get a bit more precision that way. You might notice I only did the back and forth thing with part of the head, and that's because I had to stop at a part, whereas these I was able to just go off the edge, and that those extra couple stitches just on nothing, that also makes a little knot. So we can scoot that out of the way for now, get this there. Now we turn our pieces. I'm just going to use a knitting needle I've got handy dandy. It's a big knitting needle, it's US 11. I forgot I wanted to trim these a little bit first. And I'm going to be using pinking shears. You know, they've got the zigzags. Making sure I don't actually hit my stitches, but those extra ridges help it to turn inside, to help it be smoother when you turn it inside out. But also the nice thing about pinking shears is it makes it more difficult for fabric that frays to fray. It can still happen, it just won't happen as fast or as bad. So there's the body. Hope it turns out well. Again, this is my first time doing this. I'm not like a master plushie maker or nothing. And this, because a lot of my stitches are connected there, I'm just going to kind of leave that as it is. That might make the foot a little bit wonky, but it's kind of on the bottom, so you won't be able to see it too much. But no, this is one of the things I enjoy about crafts, is just the trial and error process, and that's why there's so many times that I could easily just look up, hey, how do I do this? And instead I just make it difficult for myself, and I figure it out, like a monkey that's been given supplies. Because that tickles my brain better. I enjoy it more. Yeah, I figured I'd keep pretty much the whole process of this in so you could see it. Again, it's not like entirely a how-to. I mean, a little bit, if you wanted to follow along and maybe do better than me, learn from my numerous mistakes. I don't know what all of them are, but I don't feel like going over it right now. Save that for my therapist. Am I right? Just kidding. In this economy, I got the big ol' head. What is Wooper but a big ol' head? Okay, so I finished cutting these out. The video stopped for some reason, so I don't know what you missed, but I'm just kind of babbling anyway, so it's not important. For this, I'm gonna actually try just these random pliers I've got. Kind of stick it in there and doing our best. I was trying to see where it had left off, and I was just hearing the scissors cutting fabric. Like, man, that's something. Like sewing ASMR or fabric cutting ASMR, man. Knitting ASMR, just hearing the different kinds of needles like clicking. That's what I'd like to listen to. It's like I want to make those videos, but I have small children. And I try to be realistic. Sometimes turning stuff doesn't happen right away, especially with fiddly little parts like this. Sometimes instead of pulling, you gotta push. It's just gotten so much ink on my hands, goodness. I hope I sound all right. I'm using my headphones, which is why I was wearing my headphones in the video earlier. Trying to see if I get better sound this way. Because I'm trying to improve. Yeah, you can see the stitches pretty clearly on this. And I think I might have sewn stuff on the wrong side of the fabric, but that's just, I mean, it's all learning. That's how I try to look at it, and as long as I learn something, like, hey, pay attention to what side of fabric you're sewing on. Pay attention to what side you want to be the outside. You know, just as long as it's a learning experience. It wasn't a fail. Now that is a pretty good looking ear thing. Man. Nintendo, if you're hiring, I don't know who you have make your plushies. Shouldn't be me, but be really funny. But I will stand by the statement that it should not be me. I also like working with different materials because I don't work with fleece very often. You know, it's one I want to become more familiar with, but yeah, I'm still fairly new to sewing. I mean, I've been doing it for quite a while, but not really, I guess. I've done a lot more hand sewing, like I've made teddy bears and stuff. It's only recently that I've really tried with machine sewing. Like I've tried before, but I didn't have the patience to try to learn from mistakes, and just if things didn't go great right away, I just would give up. But when it comes to things I'm excited about these days, I'm a bit different. There's our other thingy dingy. But yeah, so I mean, like, sewing is something that I have the patience to try to do better. Whereas clay, that's something that I'm really good at in theory, but in practice, I'm not. So, yeah, that's something that I had to just say it's okay that I'm not good at that and move on to things that were worth my energy. Doesn't help that I've got a lot of sensory sensitivities. So, like, just the texture of like clay, especially like being stuck on my hands, I couldn't stand it. And then just as a mom, not being able to set it down super easy was a big anxiety thing for me. Because like this, where it is right now, I could just set this down and go in the other room where my kids are, if they need something. But if I had clay on my hands and, it was really on my hands, I'd have to wash my hands and, real thoroughly first. And yeah, and it just, I don't know, doesn't work for me. That's okay. I know I could wear gloves, but if I can't feel something, then I don't understand what's going on as well, which doesn't go great with the sensory issues. So I'm going to grab my stuffing real quick. So I meant to get the bag of stuffing, but it fell out. So we just have a cloud. Yeah, it's like Build-A-Bear barfed on me. So we're just going to start stuffing. I don't think I'm going to bother with the poly pellets with this one. No, I'm doing the video stuff right now. I could be talking to you if you wanted to watch my videos.
I'm good for now.
I see how it is. I'll forgive you this time. I'm fitting almost this entire cloud into, as I was saying, I'm fitting like all of this into just the head, which is kind of wild. But then we got the body. I think my phone's having issues trying to have all this intense information stored. Yeah, it's good enough. I like it at least. I think we're gonna kind of lightly stuff the tail. Nothing too crazy. Just to save my phone a little bit of space, I'm gonna pause recording while I stuff. Okay, so I didn't use quite all the stuffing, but I will be adding some more to the neck when I attach those. But right now I'm gonna add the eyes, which are just some buttons. The further apart, the better. See, now that, there ain't a thought behind those eyes. So I'm gonna stitch those on, and I'm just gonna use some embroidery floss that I have handy. You could use normal thread, whatever. But yeah, I'm gonna take this embroidery floss. This is just black. Not sure what brand it is. And I'm just gonna use 3 strands of it, so I get 3 strands from either one. So, because it comes with 6 strands, I'm just gonna use 3. And I am going to sew on each eye individually. So I will be back when I finish with that. Okay, so I've got the eyes done. And now for the mouth, I'm just taking the same kind of embroidery floss, but this time I'm not splitting it up at all. I'm just doing a full 6 strands. I'm talking, sweetie, so you can just listen to me talk. But I've got quite a bit of it because... Okay, go ahead. What I'm going to do, I'm going to start on this side because that's what I want to do, and about where I want the smile to start. That's where I'm going to stick my needle out. Pull that long needle. And then go back in about the same spot. And go right there. So, and then you're going to have this here. So you're making a loop. There's a lot more better tutorials than mine on this, but just trying to kind of show you what I'm doing. And you're just going to do this, if you do this, wherever you want the mouth to go. So I feel like I get a thicker line that way than I would if I were just doing like a back stitch or something. So yeah. And then when we're on our last stitch, we're just gonna go in right outside of the stitch, rather than going in about the same spot that you came out of. Let me see. And then we fight any slip knots that decide to make themselves along the way. Gonna have to turn this out a little bit, just a moment. Okay. So there's the face. Looking pretty good. Now I'm just going to sew the ear things onto the head how I want them. I'm going to stitch the various limbs, the feet and the tail, onto the body how I want them. And I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to do that just yet. But again, my phone is running out of space, so I will probably do a lot of that off camera. Also, I work better off camera with some of these things. So yeah, I'll see you in a minute. So here he is. I think mattress stitch is what it's called. I just did that for stitching these onto the body and the feet and the tail and the ear things that I still don't remember what they're called, and then attaching the head. Is it perfect? I think so. Don't think that he could have been done better by Nintendo themselves. So I mean, Nintendo, hit me up. You got your new merch right here. But yeah, sorry I couldn't have filmed more of stitching it together. For one, it's kind of a fiddly thing, stitching that close and everything. Also, again, my phone's running out of space. But yeah, so there is our Wooper. My daughter will probably steal it shortly. Which means Whoopcord will be getting many hilarious photos of Wooper in various scenarios. If you have ideas for any kind of videos I can do, things I could make, um, cupcake, if you've got any ideas, feel free to comment. Subscribe if you haven't. Like the video if you liked it. Dislike it if you didn't. Go subscribe to all the different people I mentioned. Woopa Troopa, Pacific 414, N8VOX, and then input latency is on Twitch, but the rest of them are on YouTube. I'll try to link them below. But yeah. uh, yeah. Join me next time for whatever I make next. Bye.